Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel, man. You know the deal, man, right? We must continue to educate. We must continue to put some respect on the 80s and the 90s, man. And today, we're going to talk about my man, Patrick Ewing. That's right, Patrick Ewing. That's right, from the New York Knicks, 80s and the 90s edition, man. That's right, man. We're going to put some shine on Patrick Ewing, man, because, he gets a little bit, he gets a little bit forgotten. He gets lost in the shuffle, man, with, some of the great centers that, played in the 90s, man, and in the 80s. So, we're going to talk about Patrick Ewing and how he was really the last great New York Knick legend, man. You know what I'm saying? For me. Truly the last great New York Knick legend, man. Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing. We're going to talk about him in this video. And I want to thank you guys, man. Everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man. Shout out to everybody that's a New York Knick fan. Shout out to anybody that's a Patrick Ewing fan. Shout out to Patrick Ewing. Shout out to his people. Shout out to Jamaica, where he's from, right? Shout out to everybody out there, man. If y'all watching my video right now, Patrick Ewing, man. That's all the New York Knick fans out there, man. Stand up. The Patrick Ewing fans, just the fans of the 80s and the 90s, man. And you guys know Patrick Ewing, you're a fan, man. So shout out to everybody out there, man. Thank you for the support, man. For real, guys, I am truly humbled, guys. Truly, truly humble, man. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, shout out to Patrick Ewing, man. I wanted to do a brief video on Patrick Ewing, man. Because, like I said, to me, he is the last true great New York Knick legend, man. For me, is Patrick Ewing. Now, sometimes, I've gone back and forth, man, with these Carmelo Anthony New York Knick, Carmelo Anthony fans. And, sometimes some of the, the younger, the quote-unquote younger New York Knick fans, they might try to tell you that Carmelo Anthony was the last, New York Knick legend, and that Carmelo Anthony is like, up there with the great New York Knicks, And for me, guys, I can't put him up there, man. I can't put him up there. I don't remember how many seasons Carmelo Anthony played for the New York Knicks. I don't know if it was 7, 8 seasons, whatever it was. But no, absolutely not, man. I would never put Carmelo Anthony above a Patrick Ewing as far as Knicks legends. Are you kidding me right now? Now, for me, Patrick Ewing, man, he has an argument for the greatest New York Knick of all time. He definitely has that argument. But it's a tough debate with other guys. It is. So for me, I would probably have to say I always figured growing up that, Patrick Ewing was the greatest New York Knick because Patrick Ewing was sensational, guys. When I talk about Patrick Ewing being, quote unquote, lost in the shuffle, the other guys in his era were talking about some of the greatest, the top 10 to me. Guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, to me, who is a top 5, all-time center. A top 10 all-time player for me, Hakeem Olajuwon. So you're talking about him right there. And then you're talking about someone like a David Robinson, who for me is greater than a Patrick Ewing. If I had to rank them, I'm putting David Robinson. For me, David Robinson is a top 10 all-time center. For me, Patrick Ewing is in that argument for a top 10 all-time center. But I don't know if it's as clear as a David Robinson is. I don't know if you could put Patrick Ewing in the top 10. You can make an argument. Like I said, he's right there. He's right there. To me, Dave Robinson is more solid, as far as like where I would rank them. So you're talking about some of these all-time great centers in the 90s, right? Not to mention Patrick Ewing coming in the mid-80s, right? And going against what? Also guys like an older Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, an old older Moses Malone, but not as old, right? Still a very good player, Moses Malone, in the mid to late 80s. Going against some of these other guys, Mark Eatons, some of these other older guys, Jack Sikma, some of these kinds of players back in the 80s during Patrick Ewing's early years, the developmental years for Patrick Ewing. But Patrick Ewing was leading those New York Knicks, man. And he was there for a long, long time, Patrick Ewing. That's why he has an argument for the great New York Knick. Because not only is it about the numbers or the accolades or things of that nature, the championships, Patrick Ewing, obviously we all know, never won a championship. But when we talk about things like her heart and soul, the grit, the toughness, what you represent, the respect you gain from the fans, the people, how they feel about you, how you resonate with them. That's why Patrick Ewing has an argument for the greatest New York Knick in the history of the franchise. because of those kinds of factors. Like I said, always being there, going through the battles against the greatest basketball player in the history of the NBA. Patrick Ewing gained the respect of the New Yorkers, right? Of fans of basketball during that time, being competition, never backing down from Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. The New York Knicks were always there. They were formidable. To me, the 92-93 New York Knicks, one of the greatest teams to not win the title of that time. They were stout. They were tough. They were well coached. They had the city behind them. But it was Michael Jordan ultimately that would always stop Patrick Ewing. But Patrick Ewing always was out there, playing, giving the effort. He had the nice stroke, Patrick Ewing. He was a solid rebounder. Not a great rebounder. He was a solid rebounder, though. A very good one. He was a great shot blocker, Patrick Ewing. He had those long arms, the great instincts to time these shots. Like I said, he had the leadership, Patrick Ewing. He had the respect of his teammates. Like I said, he had the respect of the New York Knicks fans. Patrick Ewing led the New York Knicks for many, many years. So yes, he has an argument. Who would be in that conversation? For me, there's three guys. There's really only three guys, I think, that you can argue for the greatest New York Knick of all time. To me, it's Willis Reed, it's Walt Clyde Frazier, and it's Patrick Ewing. To me, guys, those are the only three. Now, for me, like I said, growing up, I always thought it was Patrick Ewing. But then as you learn, right, you get older, right, you become a student of the game, right? You listen to people who know more than you, right? And I listen to guys like who? My father and others. And over the years, I've done my own research. And you look at things. And for me, it's tough to put Patrick Ewing above a Walt Clyde Frazier or a Willis Reed. It's really hard if we're really going to be honest about this. If we really want to be historical, right? For the historical purposes, then I think we can't put Patrick Ewing above those guys. I don't know. I just don't know, guys. If you said Patrick Ewing was, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to argue it. But I think you would either have to put Willis Reed or Walt Clyde Frazier as the greatest New York Knick. What they meant to the franchise. Remember, the New York Knicks haven't won a championship since those teams with Willis Reed, Walt Clyde Frazier, and others. Other great players, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Jerry Lucas. You know, my mother's favorite player was Dave DeBusschere. You know, that was her favorite player. I had no idea who this guy was. She's always telling me, oh, Dave DeBusschere this. I mean, who is Dave DeBusschere, man? Right? So as I got older, I had to look into these things. Mom always talking about Dave DeBusschere. You know, but my dad was always talking about Walt Clyde Frazier. And I told you, I met him one time. I told you, he's the most famous person I've ever met. Got his autograph at a basketball camp. The most humble person, so classy, the style, the swag, Walt Clyde Frazier, New York City. I mean, my goodness. Willis Reed, the captain, coming out on one leg against Wilt Chamberlain and the Lakers. You guys know the stories, man. This is what I'm saying. It's New York Knicks, man. But like I said, Patrick Ewing, the last great New York Knick. He's the last great one, guys. It was Patrick Ewing in the 90s Knicks. So like I said, sometimes you'll have some of the Carmelo Anthony Knick fans come out and listen, man, they had some solid teams. They did. You know, they had to go against that super team Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers. They could really never get over the hump with some of these teams. You know, Melo really never was that guy to me to be like that superstar legend. You know, he just wasn't to me, like I said, on a Patrick Ewing type level. To me, Patrick Ewing was just a better leader. He just had the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? Not saying Melo wasn't great or had his moments, you know, but he wasn't Patrick Ewing, guys. You just can't say, you know, or put Carmelo Anthony in the same league as a Patrick Ewing as far as New York Knicks history and greats. I just don't think Melo's up there on that level, man. I just don't. So for me, guys, Patrick Ewing, like I said, the last great New York Knicks legend to play. It's been a long time, man. The 90s Knicks, to me, that was their last truly great teams. The problem was Michael Jordan was going on at the same time. So I don't know if the 2010, Knicks could really compete with the 90s Knicks, guys. I don't think it would be a competition, man. I really don't. So once again, shout out to Patrick Ewing, man. Dude would come out and drop 20, 25, 30 on you. Come out there and give you 10 rebounds, a couple of assists, a couple of blocks. The heart, the grit. Patrick Ewing, the New York Knicks, man. Right in the playoffs every season, man. Every year, the Knicks. Right? As soon as Michael Jordan left, Knicks went to the finals. And they had it, man. They had it. They was up 3-2, man. They had it. They had it, man. And, it just didn't work out. Just didn't work out. And then they just kept running into the Michael Jordan there, man. And, it was just, you think about it, it was like every year, 1991, 1992, 1993, every single season. I mean, even before that, 1989. So we can go back to 89. I believe in 88 also they played each other in the postseason. So you're talking about like all these years in a row, something like 5 out of 6 years, they played each other in the postseason. Patrick Ewing going against Michael Jordan's Bulls. Always put up the fight, battling, giving the effort. Like I said, showing up to work. So shout out to Patrick Ewing, man. Once again, like I said, man, he was always out there, man. He got the respect of the people. Patrick Ewing always out there pumping the crowd up. Like I said, man, wiping the sweat off with the wristbands at the free throw line. Like I said, man, Patrick Ewing, man, one of the best jump shooting centers in the history of the game, man. Patrick Ewing had that stroke. He had that stroke, y'all. Like I said, he was in an era with some really great centers, man. The competition he was going against was stout. Stout. Like I said, the guys I mentioned, man, the Kareems, the Moses Malones, the Mark Eatons, right? The Hakeems, the Jack Sikmas. I mean, the Alonzo Mournings, the David Robinsons, the Dikembe Mutombos, the Rick Smiths, Ronnie Cycli. I mean, they were just big men. They were everywhere. Literally everywhere. Tree Rollins. Just, you know the deal, guys. You guys know the deal, man. You guys know the deal. Kevin Willis. Dudes were everywhere. Straight everywhere. And Patrick Ewing, man, was one of the greatest of them. So shout out to Patrick Ewing, man. The last New York Knicks legend. You guys know the deal, man. New York Knicks, stand up, man. We need to get back to them 90s Knicks. We need a lead out there. Need a lead out there, man. At Julius Randle. You guys know the deal, man. Shout out to Patrick Ewing. I'll catch you guys on the next one.